What's up, Black family? This is Mr. Super Mike. I'm coming through. Gonna give you guys some information, information to make you grow, information to make you know. Ain't that's what information is for? So today we want to touch on this little debate: population overpopulation or population decline. I'll play this video for you.
So, who do you call? Where do you turn to if this happens to you? At 6 o'clock, I will tell you resources available that could help you if you're like that mother you just heard from.
If I had family to go to, like a immediate family, I go with them, but I don't have an immediate family. It's just me and my kids.
You just heard from a Mid-South mother who says that she is about to be evicted because she can't find work.
It's a harsh reality, but it's a reality that many people in this area face, as several companies have announced layoffs in recent months, carry right over into the new year. Fox 13 Siobhan Riley is live in downtown Memphis. Siobhan, that mother was just laid off, and laid off days before Christmas.
Merle and Jessica Sumlin, her story is similar to hundreds of people across the Mid-South. She is a single mother who is trying to find work while the bills are still piling up and the jobs are filling up.
Filling out job applications, going places, but so, and everything is just piling up.
Making ends meet for Jessica Sumlin and her 11 children is nearly impossible right now. The Whitehaven mother left her job after 12 years at Taco Bell because she had a high-risk pregnancy. She found a temporary job in November, but she was laid off 5 days before Christmas.
I went to work that day, and I didn't know I was let go. When I got to the gate, they had told me that my badge didn't work.
That's when she learned her seasonal job was cut short. Someone says she thinks she was let go because she didn't have transportation, which made it tough to get to work. She spent about $20 a day for Uber.
I'm just doing what I can for me and my kids. So. And right now, my bills have overwhelmed me.
Earlier this month, we reviewed closure notices reported to the state. We found out there were 1,680 layoffs in Shelby County last year.
This is the first time you've been unemployed.
Right now, I'm in a bad situation because my light bill, actually my lights, I won't be surprised if they go off now because my light bill is due today. Well, the cutoff notice is due today, me and my rent.
Someone applied to several companies like Technicolor. She even reapplied to Taco Bell.
What's next for you?
I'm just praying, Lord, open the doors for me and something come through.
So who do you call?
All right, and so we've seen her. Let's look at this here. This is Twitter. Same story. This is where I got this from, WSB TV. This woman is this is a Atlanta TV station. But let's look at some of the comments that people talking about. So it's circulating that this woman has lied about her story. That this woman has lied about her story. You're the source who originally ran it, so can you do something other than repost the same article? These type of women have no shame and deserve no sympathy. I am sure there are multiple fathers involved. She knew she couldn't take care of these kids and continue having them, and I can bet the dads are scrubs too. The chickens have come home to roost. And then people saying, this is you in 7 years. And I guess the person who responds says, no. So we've seen a lot more, and I'm just going to read those few. There's more. Most of the comments were like negative towards her. The people were, being pretty angry, disrespectful, and some of some of us may have that idea. Well, let's look at what's going on GoFundMe. Let's see how many um, people are begging for money on GoFundMe. Let's see who's successful. All right, so let's look at this here. So here's GoFundMe. Results for family on hard times. We got somebody in Ohio that wants $40,000. They got $2,000. Somebody in Texas, they want $7,000. They got 6,500. Almost got their goal. Somebody in Tennessee, same state as her, white family, Georgetown, Tennessee. It's with a heavy heart that we have come to you. Beg, they need some money. They asked for $10,000. Right now, they got $4,500. We're looking at somebody in Dover. I guess that's Maine. I'm sorry. Angela Ayaya Fund. She asked for $10,000 and she got $13,000. So she overdid her budget. Uh, so I'm looking at most of the people here begging on GoFundMe here. They're not black people. Families on hard times. These people are asking for money because they having hard times. Let's see if we can get some more. Yeah. So it's just interesting to me that there's a black family in Houston. They only asked for $7,000 and they got $31,000. So that's good. But the point is, it's more than just black folks asking for money. And from the comments that I've seen, it's a lot of comments that we're looking at as negative. So people are criticizing this woman because she has 11 children. 11 children. And so that's what I want to kind of go into today, just a little bit of this. Are we dealing with overpopulation or are we dealing with a population decline? Population decline. And you can go on the internet and you'll find evidence for both scenarios. Lots of evidence saying, oh, there's so many people on the planet. We need to get rid of some of these people. But then at the same time, we see, statistics like the Brookings Institute, U.S. population growth. Let's see here. U.S. population growth hits an 80-year low, capping off a year of demographic stagnation. But we also see stories that tell us that there's too many people on the planet. So who are we believing? Okay. So I'm just going to go through a few of these. We're going to make this real quick, trying to make these things a little quicker. And then we're going to be out. So let's look at the population decline. It says in the U.S., so this was emphasized this week as the U.S. Census Bureau released its population change estimates for the year ending in July 2018. Their data shows that the national rate of population growth is at its lowest since 1937. So it's more than 80 years. And so the number of births gains and the number of deaths, and that the nation's under age 18-year-old population has declined since 2010 census. So 10 years ago to today, there's less 18-year-olds or people that's under 18 year olds than it was 10 years ago. So that's and so when you're getting an aging and an elderly population, these people are not going to be able to work. The workers are paying the retirement benefits and the care for the older people. And when you have a problem with uh, getting having young people to work, then you're going to have a lot of sad situations, because you're going to have a lot of elderly people that can't work anymore. They can't take care of themselves, and they're not going to have any money coming in from any kind of benefits, because the benefits are paid by the working age people, right? So these are the type of things that our community, black folks especially, we're going to have to start to think of these things, because we're making a lot of silly decisions. We're judging people, uh, and we're making it hard on the wrong people. We're making it hard on the wrong people. Uh, Black folks in America, we think there's too many. There's no such thing as us having too many children right now. We got 45 million people, and that's not that many people for a country this size and for what we need to do. Okay, because we need more. China is dealing with over 1 billion people. That's 1,000 million. Okay, you got India dealing with over 1 billion people. That's over 1,000 million. So our little 45 million people, it's not. We need to stop worrying about that. So our people, we need to set up systems so that our people can have a family. Okay. Now here's another situation that I want to play. 1 second here. Sorry about that, guys. I was told that I need to prepare my stuff better, which I'm trying to get to. And
The East Mississippi Correctional Facility is a privately run jail, home to up to 1,500 inmates, and judging by the company's promo video, the many special needs prisoners with mental issues are well cared for.
The philosophy of MTC is to not only provide safe, humane, and caring custody, but also offer effective rehabilitation opportunities.
But a federal civil rights trial now underway is revealing a completely different view of things inside this private prison. Surveillance video of a brutal beating here last year shows guards took nearly 30 minutes before responding, even as this camera was being operated by a jail staffer.
Frank Shaw is the warden. He has a proven track record of sustaining and upholding the values of MTC and the Mississippi Department of Corrections.
On the witness stand, Warden Shaw testified that guards do their best to keep inmates in their cells, adding, "Inmates have weapons. It's a fact of life." The class action complaint on behalf of the inmates describes prisoners who are locked down in filthy cells for days, weeks, even years. Conditions are so depraved, the complaint claims, that some prisoners capture rats, put them on improvised leashes, and sell them as pets to the seriously mentally ill. Setting fires is often the only way to get medical attention in emergencies, court papers allege. The suit's first defendant is Christopher Epps, who, as Mississippi's Commissioner of Corrections, managed the state's public and private jails until last year, when he was sentenced to nearly 20 years behind bars for taking $1.4 million in bribes and kickbacks after doling out big bucks contracts for private prisons.
so we see where the men at. This she's in Tennessee, which is near Mississippi. She has 11 kids. We dealing with men in prisons that they're doing work in prisons, building engines, building missiles, building all kind of stuff, sewing clothes for Walmart. Okay, they're creating value and they're taking jobs. These are jobs. This girl's looking for a job. Okay, and a lot of times women, they will have a child and then the father goes to jail or somehow something goes on and she needs to take care of her child and then she beats another guy and she has another one and before you know it, they're stuck. We shouldn't be encouraged to kill our children. We need, as a community, we have to set up something so that we can incentivize our people so that we can get them in better situations, so we can promote better situations. So what this graph is showing too, showing how the population decline. You got, because they're putting us in jail, a lot of the because the black people in America was the labor class. They put us in jail. So now they need a labor class. They allowed the immigration, but that's kind of been stagnated. They want to increase the immigration and it increased a little, but it really hasn't done what they wanted it to do. Immigration is not getting them where they want. You see here, they started to increase a little around 2010, 2012, but it's pretty much stagnated. And then when Trump came in, it starts to go down a little bit. It's going up a little bit. These people, this is the natural population move during this period of time, which is like 2007. The natural population was still slightly increasing. Then it started to take a real dip. This dip is from opioids. This dip is from death. This dip here is from the old people dying. Okay. Most of this dip is from the old people, and this is white decline mainly. So what's happening here is the United States is going through a period of time where one group, which is the elderly, because they stole all the resources and they made it hard. They are old. They got all the drugs they can have, and so they end up taking all the drugs they can and they kill themselves. But we, which are the poor people, the black and the other groups, which is the Hispanic probably mainly, they've been coming in and we've been younger because we've been in jail. We've been dying early. We haven't had the chance to get old. So we have a young population is ready to work, but they're terrified for us to have money because they know as soon as we have money and we have power, we're going to start changing these situations with the racism, with all of these setbacks that we've been dealing with. And that's what they're scared of. So when you're talking about overpopulation, if you are a black person talking about overpopulation, there's no overpopulation, but there's an overpopulation if you're coming from an Aryan, white supremacist perspective, because you see your group declining, population declining. See, this up here is Europe. That's South Africa. This is white people, some of them. But then this is Europe. These are a bunch of, white folks, Russians and all that up there in Britain and Switzerland and all that crap. And then, you got some, this is China here, and they got problems too. Japan, that's population declines because they had that one child policy in China. So they have a severe population decline. And then they're getting kicked out of South Africa. Okay, so, but the point is, and that's Greenland and stuff, so they got population declines too. But, so they want to say that Africa is overpopulating. These are that's overpopulation. No, it's not overpopulation. They just want you to kill yourself. They want you to kill your children. Before you have the children, they want to make it hard on you. And that's pretty much the main thing. If you look at white population, this is a white population, the census, 1970, 1980, they were going up. 1990, they still were going up. A little bit smaller though. See, they went up like 11 million. Then they went up 8 million. Then they went up 6 million. And now they only went up 2 million. Here, they only went up 2 million in this last census. This is white population. They're going down, boy. And so here, these are estimates because they want to take the population now. And they very well expect that this number is negative now. They're starting to go down in white population. That's scaring them because they're scared of us. They're scared of you, your black power, and all of your changes. You want the equality, you want the reparations, you want to change all. Yeah, and that's what they're mad about. So they're gonna call for a white nationalism situation now because they don't have. It takes a lot of energy to keep holding and oppressing large groups of people. So they set themselves up for a serious issue. And for black folks, if you don't think about these things, then what ends up happening is you make a lot of silly arguments. You end up supporting a lot of silly behaviors that you don't have anything to deal with. Like, for example, the war that Donald Trump did with Iran. Iran is actually their country name is Aryan. Iran is about Aryan, but they're not a white supremacist nation. And so them, they don't want them to have the nuclear weapons because that represents a changing of mindsets on the planet, of dominance. Okay, so black folks, we need to know something about this because it affects our decision making, and then we end up sending our children and we end up sending our families to theaters of war because we think we need some money when we need to be right here creating ways to make businesses for ourselves, creating ways to make our communities a safe place to live in. For example, if this woman doesn't get effective help, then what's the condition of her 11 children? But if we create a churches, mosque groups, we create a community structure where mothers like this, where they don't just have to work at Taco Bell. She don't, everybody not smart like some of you. Okay. Some people want large families. Nothing wrong with having a large family. Oh, if you can't afford it, you shouldn't have it. Well, the point is, we actually need that in our society as far as Black American because we got a lot of work to do. And so it's in our best interest as a collective to create systems where when people are seeking help, we can give them conditions that they can eat meat, reasonable conditions, and that they can help take care of their families, get their stuff together, and not be in dire straits. So at this time, I think I'm going to end this podcast, and I just want y'all to be happy, be healthy, do your thing, think about what I said, and peace, everybody. Peace.